Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I want to be very clear on the things that I have said already so far on the very scary paranormal phenomenon that's been happening, caused by what I just told you about my mother's sides of the family, their dark past, my family's dark past from my mother's side. The house that I used to live in from 2005 to 2011. For 6 years I lived there. I had my own, I had to move out basically to begin with because of the time when I got mugged, when I got jumped by Latin Kings. And they almost beat me to death. I had to get out of the neighborhood. So we moved out, and it was me and my sister and my parents. I didn't have the money to live by myself at that time. During my stay there, I liked it. Of course, I liked it a lot at first. It was in a very nice neighborhood. The attic bedroom, which was made to a very nice living quarters. It was really big. At first, I liked it, but then slowly, within a year, it started to get bad with sleep paralysis, attacks by evil spirits, which I thought was evil spirits or whatever at first. But the thing is, after all the scary things that has happened to me because of that, and then I finally moved out in 2011. Now my sister's kids live in that house with her. Now they're all pretty much in their teenage years. And now my niece lives in that same bedroom. And I was hoping like crazy that nothing scary would happen to her, but it actually did. I don't think as far as I know, it didn't happen as severe as it did with me. And I'm glad, because having to be pulled from your ankles, from your leg, pulled off the bed violently by, I can't say what type of creature this was, but it was standing at the edge of my bed. It was trying to induce a paralysis, but I managed to somewhat fight it off to a moderate degree. It grabbed me from my legs, pulled me off of the fucking bed, and I kicked and screamed at the top of my lungs, fighting very violently, and punching and kicking and doing whatever, to the point that I strained my voice because by nature my voice doesn't carry like the way my father does. In a way I wish I did. But I'm just glad that she didn't have to experience something that fucked up like the way I did. But she did experience some mild degree of poltergeist activity, things moving around, and noises coming from a certain area of the room, and the feeling of something watching her. When I used to live there, there was no door in the doorway of the second part of the room. There was the door to go in and out of the bedroom, but then there's another doorway leading to a second part of the bedroom, another room, and there was no doorway at that time. This time, when my niece moved in, they had a door put in. And she would hear knocks or scraping sounds on the door on the other side. And they used to scare her a lot. And she has a dog, a Siberian Husky, and from what I understand, dogs could sense these kind of things. They could sense spirits, they could sense whatever, and they at least either bark like crazy, in which this dog actually did. Ohana was the name of the dog. And she would bark at the door, growl, and even at one point even cower away a little bit from whatever was there. Now, when I came over to the house one time, I asked my niece, because I didn't want to tell her completely everything that I experienced, and this was like about maybe 3 years ago or something. I'm not really sure. I asked her, okay, where do you feel this thing staring at you? Was it on this side, by the window? She says, no. Was it by this side over here? And she said, no. And then I started going over to the part where I felt the presence of this thing attacking me, or it actually attacked me, where it was coming from. There was what would you call a vortex or a portal in that part of the wall right next to the doorway, and even the doorway too. So I didn't say anything, so I asked her, was it over here by this side? And she said, yeah, especially there. And then she started pointing at the doorway and the wall right next to it. Fuck. I didn't tell her anything at that moment until later on. I told her about it. I just didn't want to worry her. She was about maybe 16 at the time. She's older now, so I was able to tell her everything. I mean, when it happens to you, it's bad enough. But when something scary like that happens to somebody, your own niece or nephew and stuff like that, it hurts. It really hurts. My nephew was grabbed like the way I did, like the way I, in my case, grabbed from the legs and thrown around. That's when my niece told me that she was too scared to open the door because his bedroom was next to hers. And she heard the ruckus and some scary noises. And that, to me, was fucked up. It made me angry. And it made me worried. Now, those things are pretty much, from as far as I know, that stuff actually stopped. There hasn't been any more of those things anymore going on. As far as I know. So far, right now, everything's being very calm and collective. I just can't stand it when someone close to me, who's a lot younger than me, someone who's even a kid or even a teenager who's actually who experienced something to this degree, and they're very lucky that nothing worse happened to them. Like the last thing I need is for them to go through the same thing I did, or even worse. That's the last thing I need right now. That's the last thing I need. And so far, nothing like that has happened. So far, it's been a couple of years now, and nothing really scary has happened. So I'm very grateful and happy for that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And to all of you, take care.